Welcome in, everybody. It is time for Three Guys Before the Game. It's episode number 436. It's the Texas recap. It's the Texas Tech preview as West Virginia's stint in the Lone Star State continues. Remember, we had TCU, then Texas, now Texas Tech. A lot of Texas. Thanks so much for being with us. We're going to get into
the Texas 7A championship coming up on Wednesday.
Who was it? Wasn't one of the football teams never left Texas or barely?
TCU. Their total travel this year was like 91 miles, I think, total.
No, you can be just Texas and still travel a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's a big state.
Probably get to the Mountain Time Zone.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought
Not
that up.
The Big 12 would know that or not.
Well, I had a situation.
Uh-oh.
I'll get into it. Hold it. I'll get into it. Three Guys Before the Game is brought to you by the Burdett Camping Center, the only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Visit burdettcamping.com.
They'll take you into the Mountain Time Zone.
Oh, yeah. They'll go all the way out west. You can, if you want, you take off out of Winfield there, Fraser's Bottom general area, drive that thing straight west. You're going to run right into the Pacific.
With no worries. With that warranty.
None at all. Warranty lasts forever. Three
Even
Guys
if you
also
drive into the Pacific, is that warranty still
know
good?
if
If you,
Is that covered? I don't know if that's covered.
I mean, it's your fault and you drive into the Pacific and try to take that thing back.
Yeah,
then it won't start. You wonder why it won't start?
If you float it, I don't know if the warranty lasts, but it's forever.
Got a shark in.
Three Guys also brought to us by Gomart. If you are not a Gomart Rewards card member, you need to sign up. Do it really easy. Just go to gomart.com. That's gomart.com. Save on gas. Save on your favorite snacks. Gomart.com. Just look around. There's Gomart.
Tomorrow.
You make your. Is that your PP stop when you go down to the Capitol?
I'll stop at
Flatwoods.
Flatwoods.
Of course you will.
Three Guys Before the Game.
Recognizable Gomart in the state.
Well, that's the center of the state. Three Guys also brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. There's so much more than just your local copier guy. They can take care of every single one of your business equipment needs, and then they can handle your business data, IT security, and even your phone system. Really super simple. They join hands. They become your partner. And one of the great testimonies to their success is that many of their very first clients, when they opened their business decades ago, are still their clients today. So we'll talk about that.
Help businesses of all sizes, too. No business is too small.
Did they take care of
the How-To Media home office up and running nicely.
Oh.
Yeah. 10 minutes, you said?
Maybe not 10.
Oof.
Maybe 10 because I had to put my nice new reading glasses on to find the power button. Other than that, bang. Up, connected to Wi-Fi, let's print.
All right, so
finally,
we're going to talk about Texas. We're going to preview Texas Tech. We're going to do
some time on the schedule, Kershaw.
We're going to do the recap of Texas by looking back at the keys to the game, and then we'll preview Texas. But you brought up that Mountain Time Zone. So had a situation over the weekend, Saturday night. So the commissioner, Brett Yormark, was here watching the game.
Yeah.
Right, great. So he brought two of his staff with him.
Okay.
The two people that are in charge of all the releases.
Yeah.
That come out.
Yeah.
Right?
Great.
So
good to see them.
Yeah, so they came.
Let me just real quick question. Did they get to the arena on time or were they like an hour early?
No, they were on time.
Okay.
We were there before the game. I don't know what time they got there.
Probably got there an hour early.
So she taps me on the back just to say hello. Known her for years.
Sure.
And she introduces me to her assistant there, and I'd seen his name on various emails of late.
Sure.
And I said, I am so glad. I got a problem.
Excellent.
And you guys got to fix it.
Okay.
So I said, this time zone stuff.
Yes. Good.
I said, you have got to list all of the games Central, Eastern.
Really, Eastern Central is proper etiquette.
Right.
7 Eastern, 6 Central is how you do that.
I might as well have asked, hey, before the game's over tonight, could you give me the way we can completely fix global warming. I'm telling you what, dude, I got nothing.
Really?
I said, and then I went, now you do know that next year there's 2 more teams from the East and 1 team in the Mountain. And they said, well, we felt that we've been listing West Virginia as an Eastern time. But what they do is it said, for example, Texas versus West Virginia, 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern.
Yeah, which is not proper.
It should be the inverse
Correct.
of that.
Correct.
But
they also don't ever list Eastern when West Virginia is on the road at Texas Tech.
Correct. That's all we want.
Now, there is still people in the Eastern time zone
Yes.
that will be watching it in the
Yeah.
Eastern time zone, even though the game is being played in Central.
So basically they say, well, our philosophy is we list the time of where that school is from. I said, what are you going to do next year when you've got Mountain, Central, Eastern? I said, what do the other leagues do? What's the Pac-12 do? So I had absolutely zero success.
That's a shame.
All due respect. As someone that worked in the administrative world, when a lot of things pop up, you know what that is? That's working your way into the more difficult of the 2 approaches, coming up with reasons to. The easier one is you're playing games in the Eastern time zone. With an Eastern time zone school, put it in Eastern time zone.
Lead with the Eastern
Of
time.
all the things that could be controversial and have been controversial on this set, of all the things, it's putting it in Eastern time zone when you have an Eastern time zone school? That's what's the most controversial thing we've ever said? That's the hardest thing we've ever asked for? Is to list the time zone of one of your member institutions? I don't even plan on getting mad. That's unbelievable to me.
They felt it was a little more difficult than that.
Also,
How is that difficult?
Dude, when I looked, I knew I was in trouble when I first brought it up, and the look on their face was like, well, it's pretty difficult. I'm going like, nah, it's really not that difficult. You take the school that's hosting the game, you list their time.
And I do a lot of national things. Do we ever go in and if the game's playing, do we not list that because we're sitting in the Eastern time zone when we're doing the game? Or do we include all the time zones that may be included? What do? We do national things every year, Hoppy. National radio for multiple bowl games. What do we say?
Yeah.
Do we just exclude time zones?
And actually, almost everybody does what I think is the national standard. If you're not going to do all time zones, you say, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, or something like that.
Sure.
I mean, watch NFL coverage. If Chicago's playing Detroit, they don't say 11 a.m. Central or whatever it is.
Very good, Hoppy. That's very good, Hoppy.
It's a small request. I'm surprised, Tony, they shut you down like that.
I apologize. It wasn't a hostile conversation at all. But when they walked away, I knew I got nothing. I made no progress. Of all the things. Okay, so let's move on because I didn't want to get him all. He came in. He was
upset.
Players, federal wiretaps, all kinds of stuff, and it's controversial that we want it in the damn Eastern time zone.
We can expand the conference. We can pull in 4 teams and lose 2 teams, but we can't change the
And negotiate a buyout with Texas and Oklahoma that's in the billions. Can't get an Eastern time zone reading. Got a world clock in the offices.
Somebody says we got to change the time zone. Talks are off.
That's
Talks
a bridge
are off.
too
That's
far.
it. We are walking away. We are walking away.
I just don't know why they can't list every game if it's like, let's say Texas Tech's playing Kansas State, okay? Why can't the thing say Texas Tech, Kansas State, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern? And that you want to go Eastern first.
That's what everybody else does. Just make it stand. Yes.
You're never going to
That's what it is.
You're never going to
That's wrong.
You're never going to
That's just wrong.
Moving on
They're wrong.
Saturday night before a crowd of 14,141.
And it's an easy fix.
West Virginia fell to the Texas Longhorns.
I definitely won't talk about it anymore now on this show. Might be every show from here on out. Welcome in Central Florida, BYU. Guess what time your game is. We're not telling you.
kickoff Saturday afternoon.
I mean, what do they tell the TV networks? The TV networks come in with only Central Time for them? Hey, we'd like kickoff at 6 p.m. Central, or did the TV networks talk in Eastern Time Zone?
Probably talk Eastern.
Oh. Go ahead.
69-61 was the final. Texas defeated West Virginia. Mountaineers fall to 1-6 in conference play. And they head out to Texas Tech and meet up against the Red Raiders on Wednesday, unfortunately. That'll be a game that'll match up the number 9 team against the number 10 team. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be there, but you're in it. And Texas Tech still has not won a conference game. What we've been doing is giving you the keys to the game in our preview, and then we go back and take a look at the keys and see how close the analytics were to actually what happened. We now turn it over to our time zone correspondent, Brad Howe, to take a look. Computer, I went back and watched it. This thing dinged it again, didn't it? Yeah. You shut your mic on yourself. Turn your microphone. Shut your mic.
Can I get a minute? I got 2 shirts on now. I'm sweating.
Blood pressure all high.
Hold on. I put my glasses on. Hold on. All right. Happy, don't mean to turn my back on you here, but I want to make sure I get this correct.
That's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
All right. Here we go. Keys from last episode. Number 1, don't turn it over a ton. Texas was elite in points off turnovers, as we mentioned. West Virginia had been turning it over. What's the result, Tony?
West Virginia turned it over a season tying high of 20 times.
That was the story. I mean, you can go to textual healing right now if you want. That's where it started and stopped. You couldn't do that against Texas. You did that against Texas. You lost because you did that against Texas. There's one. Number 2 was the free throw line was going to matter again, and my standard disclaimer every episode, we'll talk about that in every game for West Virginia as a key to the game. West Virginia was 16th in free throw rate coming into that game. Texas was in bottom 100. You had to get to the line and make a difference. Now, the result was both teams' free throw attempt rate was below where they'd been over the last 5 games. There were still 37 free throws combined on 39 called fouls. So there were still a lot of fouls and a lot of free throws, but West Virginia couldn't take advantage of that. They were -1 in points from the free throw line. Texas had the 1-point advantage there. West Virginia shot it pretty well, 73%, but you mentioned, Tony, on Hoppy's show earlier when we were on some critical misses down the stretch for West Virginia. So that showed up to be it. That was a factor. It wasn't the factor in the game.
Mm-hmm.
A third key. We talked about finishing on second shots. West Virginia came into this game against Texas in the 85th percentile nationally in offensive rebound percentage, but 0 percentile in field goal percentage on their second shots. Getting the rebounds, not finishing in a high enough rate on their second shots. The result coming out of the Texas game, West Virginia struggled again on its second chance shots. Just 30% field goal percentage on those plays. So it was below its 43% average, which wasn't good to begin with. That drops West Virginia into the second percentile nationally over the last 5 games in that category. So did not go well in that category either. So those were 2 things, the free throws and converting on second chance points that West Virginia needed to do to help get a win. It couldn't do either of those.
Right.
Let me give you one other one, a bonus key, if it were. A bonus key that we talked about.
You cooling down, by the way? You feeling a little bit better?
No, I'm still hot.
Okay.
We talked in the pregame, in the preview episode, that Texas was getting a lot of on-guarded catch-and-shoot jumpers throughout their Big 12 season. They got those 56% of the time. That was the most in the Big 12. In the game against West Virginia, Texas had 10 of its 14 catch-and-shoot jumpers were unguarded, 71%. West Virginia, on the other hand, we've also talked that category for them. They lead the league in guarded jump shots, or conversely, have the least amount of open catch-and-shoots. That continued again. West Virginia had 18 catch-and-shoot jumpers against Texas. Only 4 of them were unguarded.
Those are wild numbers.
So that's tough, man. I mean,
Those are
we
wild
come in here
numbers,
and we
man.
say
Yeah.
West Virginia didn't make shots. Yeah, of course it didn't. It's not getting open looks. At some point, you got to break through and get some open looks. Whether that's offensive design, whether that's individual offensive talent, something has to break where these guys get open shots because they're not getting them right now. So there you go. There's the keys from the preview and how they looked.
A couple of things. A turnover is never good, and 20, how do you win a game with 20 turnovers? But also the time when those turnovers late were really, really bad when the game was on the line. There was that entry pass by Stevenson that got away. That was a critical point. The free throw shooting was okay. Didn't get the free throw line as much as you would like you said, Brad. But also you missed key free throws down the stretch. I mean, Keedy Johnson got to the line, but was 7 of 11. You missed some down the stretch. So just unable to close the deal, and it was right there. And then on the other side, you got Marcus Carr, who just is a guy. And Marcus Carr says, okay, I'll take the ball when the game's on the line. And he made plays, made free throws, made steals, made shots. And he was the best player on the court. And when the game was on the line, he took the game.
Why do you keep shutting your microphone?
I didn't move. You turned me off.
Dude, I don't shut you off.
Subconsciously.
I did not move. My hands did not move. They're right here.
I don't shut you off. I have no reason to shut you off.
Well, I'm not running the board. I didn't move. I mean, Kurtzville might have tried to get in there.
Your point was?
We talked in the pregame also, or in the preview show, Texas doesn't necessarily shoot a lot of threes. Like you've seen Tyrese Hunter go bananas from 3. You've seen Rice hit some. You see, they didn't make many threes.
Something's up with Tyrese Hunter. He ain't the same dude.
Yeah, he wasn't the same guy. He wasn't as good.
This whole season, he's not the same
No,
dude.
he's probably trying to find his way. He wasn't as good. West Virginia finally made some threes, hit 8 of them, but really didn't do much else. Remember how we talked against TCU that West Virginia got to the rim on so many of its shots? In fact, 53% of its shots, a season high. That's part of the win. They got close to the basket, made their shots at the rim. That was a huge difference. Against Texas, just 23% of West Virginia's shots were at the rim. So part of that's because they made some more threes, but they just didn't get enough shots in close.
And some of that kind of segues into Trey Mitchell. I mean, Trey Mitchell, I think on game in and game out, as you watch this team, Trey Mitchell is the most gifted player on this team, right?
Would agree.
And he had a good first half, and then kind of disappears in the second half. When you thought, okay, let's get the ball back to Trey Mitchell. I don't know enough to know why he wasn't getting the ball or whatever, or wasn't making them, but he just was not effective in the second half as he was in the first half. And to win those kind of games, you think you got to have Trey Mitchell get the ball and score.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know if you're asking for a response to that.
I was looking for affirmation, probably.
So I think as we've been saying probably since the summer, Mitchell and Stevenson have to score for this particular team. Now, against TCU, you were able to overcome that. Kedrian Johnson had a great game, and Jimmy Bell did. Johnson scored again for you. I mean, goes over 20 again, back-to-back career highs for him, which is tremendous. But you need that to be like your third scorer. It's got to be Mitchell and Stevenson. And in Stevenson's case, guys, we've talked about him since the Oklahoma State deal. He's just not been the same player. He's off. This team's going to continue to struggle unless Stevenson can get back. And again, he had some shots, Tony, that looked like they were down. I mean, you say this team feels close in some of these games. Stevenson feels like he's about ready to pop, but just hasn't yet. And, man, they need that, and they need it fast.
To your point on the free throw attempts against Texas, West Virginia only took 18. And I don't think – we've mentioned this, but I really want to hit this home, that West Virginia needs points from the foul line every single game. Now, that might sound like, oh, that's a pretty generalized statement, but here's why. That is like, if they were a business, that would be like 40% of our income and our sales comes from the free throw line. I mean, that's just the way that it is. That's just the way that it's been, right? You have to have those points because you struggle in other areas consistently shooting the ball. You have to be able to get to the foul line, and then when you do, you have to make those free throws. Again, stat. West Virginia, in its 11 years in the Big 12, has taken more free throws than any other Big 12 team. Okay? That trend continues this year. In league games, West Virginia is number one again this year. 187 free throw attempts. 187. They are dead last in percentage. They're 64% in conference games. You have the opportunity. Here's your opportunity to take the points, score the points that you need. You're getting there. 187 free throws. You want to know who should be screaming about not getting to the foul line? Oklahoma. They've taken 86. 101 less free throws than West Virginia. Texas has taken 142. Kansas, they get all of the calls. Kansas gets all the calls. They've taken 137. They've taken 50 fewer than West Virginia. So, as you sit here and you try to go, is it this? Is it that? Is it this? Is it that? This is a pretty simple one. You're given the opportunity to get to the line. You're not taking advantage of it.
Well, 2 points about those are good stats, Tony. A couple points about that. One is that runs counter to what we always think is West Virginia, that, you're getting screwed by the officials. Actually, you're getting calls. You just, you can't finish on that. The second thing is that's a huge issue. But like we talked about with football, there always seems to be something, right? So turnovers have not been a problem. All of a sudden, turnovers are a problem. Mm-hmm. So that's the mark of a team that is struggling. When it's not just a thing that maybe you can work around or fix, but it's always something. It's not a thing, it's always something. And that's what popped up again Saturday. Let's go to some quotes by Bob Huggins. The first thing that stood out to me was he said, there's issues I'm not at liberty to talk about. There's issues I'm not at liberty to talk about. That's what he said after the game. And I think two things about that. One is that if there are, in fact, issues that you can't talk about, then you shouldn't bring it up. Because you are talking about it by suggesting there's issues. So if you can't talk about it, don't bring it up. When you do bring it up, then that prompts the obvious question by everybody. Okay, what are they? You mean, there's issues on this. What are they? Is it a health issue? Is it an academic issue? Is it internal turmoil issue? Is it somebody's girlfriend? I mean, what is it? You can't say that without expecting that Mountaineer Nation want to know what those issues are. The second thing is he said, Tony, on your show after the game, where he was very candid about the status of this team. You can speak to that.
Well, he said, he kind of said it. We're a bad team. Right now, we're a bad team for the reasons that we've just listed, right? You have these areas where you're just unable to consistently do that thing, i.e., consistently value the ball, but you don't. You have games where your turnovers soar up, they go down, they soar up, they go down. Free throw shooting, right? 72%. Before league play started, now it's down sub 65%. So that, I think, is what he's talking about. And again, extremely frustrating, as I said on your trading show that you do, Trading Post thing. Yeah. This team is extremely frustrating because Mountaineer Nation so badly wants to embrace this team.
You saw it Saturday night.
They want to embrace this team. They want to embrace success. They want to go and they want to get back to the glory days of getting victories and feeling good. They're trying, and every time they try to put their arms around you, kind of like you probably when you were probably like 11th grade, go to prom. There's that senior girl everyone wanted to go to the prom with. Yeah. You walk down the hallway there at Jefferson, first year that Jefferson was in existence, and you asked Sally Joe, hey, would you like to go to the prom? And you had your arms open like this, and she said, nah. No. She gave you the Heisman.
Yeah.
So it gets frustrating all the way around, and everyone's feeling the frustration. The fans, Hugs, the players, it's not good.
Saturday, I watched a lot of basketball Saturday. Brad, the fact that this team is struggling as it is, and you still have 14,000 there Saturday, that's pretty impressive. I mean, you were in marketing and at the athletic department. You would be thrilled with that, considering how this team is doing. You watch Oklahoma, They're not interested. They're not.
They weren't
not engaged.
They weren't there when Trey Young was there. When Buddy Hield was there. They don't go.
So the fans are they're just like,
yeah,
right there. Can you give them something? Can you give them something?
Here's to speak to that as well. How about Texas builds that new building? It doesn't hold 14 for basketball.
No,
it holds like 11 for basketball, something like that. I mean, so
14 these days.
That speaks to everyone wants to win, and that crosses the whole spectrum. Football, want to win. Basketball, want to win. Getting tired of not winning. I get that, and I feel it.
But if you had, it's interesting because you kind of think of West Virginia as more of a football state than basketball state, even though basketball has a deeper tradition in a lot of ways. Is that if your league record in football was 1-6 and you were playing somebody, be about 30,000 there. Basketball, house is full.
That's true too. That is true too. That's an interesting point. Football fans pull out, and there's probably because, is that, Brad, what do you think that is? That because there's just less you need and it's more noticeable?
Yeah, I mean, filling up 60,000 seat stadiums, you got to work at that.
And there's other factors, but still, it's again, you just have the fans that are just right there.
Oh, I know. All right, El Senatore, Texas Tech. Tell me it's a good matchup.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go.
Wait. Let me hit the jingle in that case. On the 3-second stinger. Hit that. Can we get that? Oh, that was really anemic. Hang on. Got it.
All right. Now, you still have to go play, right? That's the
sure,
question. But
yeah,
there's some things as you look through this. Let's go through a quick overview first. Texas Tech, as you mentioned earlier in the show, winless in Big 12 play, 0-7. Their best win is over Eastern Washington, which is number 149 in Ken Palm's rankings. 3 of their 10 wins, 30% of their wins, are over teams ranked 300 or worse. 2 more are over 296 Louisville and 299 Texas Southern. So that's half of their wins are over teams that are 296 or worse in the Ken Palm rating, so bottom 60 or so. So they've struggled as Big 12 play has started and the competition has stepped up. They've struggled adapting to that level of competition. They haven't shot it well. One of the worst three-point shooting teams nationally in the last 5 games, but they're taking a ton of them. They're taking 3 threes at a rate that's 86th percentile nationally over the last 5 games, but they're not falling. They're also struggling to score from 2, 15th percent nationally in the last 5 games. Here's the part you don't expect, though, because you've seen that before from Texas Tech teams, right? Struggle to score at times. But here's what you don't expect from Tech and or a Mark Adams team. 3rd percentile nationally defensively in the last 5 games. So they haven't been guarding at the elite level that they were earlier under that program. So let's get to some keys. You ready? These are the ones we'll recap on Monday. Let's see if these come to fruition. Number 1, Kercheval.
Yes.
Push it. Push it.
Okay.
Get up and down the floor. West Virginia is now number 1 in the Big 12 in points per possession in transition, but only 6th in the league in field goal attempts per game in transition. So you've been super efficient and good.
They get down there, but they don't shoot it.
The bottom half, no, in terms of attempts, they're just not running enough is what that tells me. Try and get out and run. Here's the other part that makes this matchup appealing in that category. Texas Tech is 9th in the league in points per possession in transition defense. So they've been giving up points in transition.
Teams score against them in transition.
So West Virginia should be able to find some success when pushing it. Now, Texas Tech, even though teams have had success, they are allowing the 2nd fewest possessions per game in transition. So you've got to find a way to get out and push it a little more, make them play at that pace. Second key to the game, hit some open shots. Texas Tech leaves catch-and-shoot shooters unguarded more than any other team in the league. Now, as we mentioned just in the last segment, if that trend continues, that will be welcome for West Virginia, as 64% of its catch-and-shoot jumpers are guarded. That's the most in the league. But here, this should encourage you, or maybe it doesn't. West Virginia leads the league in field goal percentage on guarded catch-and-shoot jumpers.
They're used to it.
That's literally my next note, probably because they see more than any other team. So you should have some breathing room on some jumpers if those trends continue. You've got to knock down some open looks. You've got to find a way to start shooting the ball better than what you have. And number 3, win the turnover battle. Ready for this one? Went in the weeds for you on this one.
I like that.
Texas Tech is number 1 in the Big 12 in points per possession or points per chance, however you want to phrase that, scoring off a live ball turnover.
Oh, that's a good one.
West Virginia's opponents are first in the league in points per chance off of live ball turnovers, which you just saw that before. So teams are taking advantage when West Virginia turns it over, they're converting that into points. Add into that Texas Tech opponents are last in the league in points per chance scoring off live ball turnovers. So they score, but they limit your scoring when you create the turnover.
Interesting.
So that's going to be an important matchup. Turnover battle is going to be critical. West Virginia's opponents are taking advantage of West Virginia's. Tech has limited its opponents.
That's good.
Who can win that battle?
That's good. I'm going to make that the most important of the game. Can I do that?
Sure.
That'll be my most important. So you think Mark Adams, in the course of 8 months between seasons, forgot how to coach?
Probably not.
Probably didn't forget how to coach, did he? But he doesn't have
You're
a
saying
win.
he's a big defensive guy. That's why you're saying that.
No. I'm saying, why do you think they're struggling?
Go on, players.
They lost a lot of players, man.
How about this? Let me go far field macro, since Brad got the excellent micro.
He went far field macro.
That's
new.
That is new. He's always gone macro. He's never gone far field.
Haven't heard that
macro.
far field. Where's the headspace? Okay, where's the headspace? Like, where's the West Virginia headspace? How long do you keep scrapping? I mean, how long before, it's halftime and if you're down 5, like, where are you? Same. I mean, Texas Tech too, clearly.
Sure.
I mean, that's the case with.
It's coming. The headspace check is coming, not only for West Virginia and Texas Tech, for college basketball. We are entering into the area of the season that teams fall off and never get back up. This is the dog days, so to speak, of the season. You've been bouncing it since October in practice. And now the teams that have opportunity respond. Everyone's nerves are frayed across the game because everyone's getting tired. Coaches, players, the officials. This is because they haven't seen the lilies of March getting ready to bloom. So you get into this last week of January and about your first 2 weeks of February, and it's the grind portion of the season where you don't see what the end of it is. And if you've got no hope, when you get through the next 3 weeks, you probably don't turn it back up for this season.
And look, even good teams get out of their headspace. I mean, look at TCU. I mean, TCU, and you guys called it. Brad, you called it, because TCU came in, and that was a tremendous situational advantage for West Virginia. The odds makers liked West Virginia. What did they do? They won the game. And like, oh, what's wrong with TCU? Then they go and just lay wood on Kansas. Historic win at Kansas, which tells you that was a dip.
We talk about that more in football, but that was one that you could identify. TCU was off that big win against Kansas State when they played about as well as you could. They had West Virginia midweek game in a tough place to play with Kansas on deck. They'd never won. They got caught, right? Yeah. They got caught and didn't have an A effort there. Yeah. They did on Saturday against Kansas.
Now, to them, what speaks to a good team is what they do. They responded.
Responded and drilled.
Right.
Drilled Kansas.
Yeah.
Well, this is one, too, guys. I mean, we talk so often about the schedule, and people are probably tired of hearing what a tough league this is. But the reason that matters is you can't bring a B game or a C-plus game if you're West Virginia and find ways to get wins. No. That's why it matters. This is, by far, remaining on your schedule, the most likely win for you based on strength of opponent that you're playing.
True.
And it's not close. So you better find a way. Winning on the road's hard. Better find a way to go get one on the road.
Yeah.
Got to get this one.
A lot of business owners have a phone system that is getting old, and they go, yeah, I know it needs to be updated, but, it still takes the calls in. It's not broke.
Ours
don't need to fix it. Yeah, we got a situation ourselves.
I don't even use my phone anymore.
Well, there's a lot of benefits to a new phone system, and with Comax Business Systems, you can purchase it, you can lease it, you can rent it. And everyone in your office will have a dedicated line. Immediately, a call made to that line. If they're not there in this day of remote work, it forwards to your employee's cell. And it's just not another extension in your office. Your voicemail goes immediately to your employee, and you're not dependent on your office email. So whether you need a phone, one line, 1,000 lines, Comax can do it. Comax's digital phone system's competitively priced and efficient. And ultimately, it saves you money and probably makes you money if you do more business. So you can call Comax Business Systems for a free quote today. Visit them, comaxwv.com. You know, our boy's coming into town this weekend. Music producer of Three Guys, David Saab.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, coming in for the fish fry. And he had said that there might be the new release. By the way, you shut your microphone off again. It might be a new release of a song based on spreads over here.
Oh,
that's the new
that
one.
would be nice.
Could get that before Friday. What do you think of that, Senator? Hoppy's got a beer and you're going to have a song. I think that's really nice.
By the way, a lot of beer talk at the Capitol.
Ah! Text line's crazy on this beer.
Guess where I was Saturday?
Do you have one?
No, I went to Daniel's.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I saw the picture.
Did you get the picture?
Saw the picture. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was helping Phil.
Did you organize any mannequins?
No, but he needed
Did you
he
fold
needed
anything?
a fitting. So
You didn't fold anything?
no, I didn't. I didn't do anything. I thought about you guys. I wanted so bad. So Phil and I took a picture. I said, "You got to send that. Send that to the guys."
Hey, do you have your new items yet?
Yeah, I got 3 shirts and 2 ties.
So are you going to wear one of the new shirts and ties to the Capitol when you're in the rotunda?
I will. I can't this week. I can't wear the shirts because I needed to have them pressed. Right.
Well, probably. Do you have them altered?
Pressed or altered?
Pressed.
Well,
I mean, they came out of the package.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't take a week. I mean, you can.
I'm going down tomorrow. I went there Saturday, so
Well,
I mean,
I'll get them.
They'll be on next week's rotation?
Yes. They're under. What do you call it? They're under. What is it? Management. They're under. You say with players arrested.
Load management.
My shirt's on load management.
Oh, boy.
New shirt. I don't want to blow it all out
Totally get
one
it.
week, right?
No, I
That's-
understand,
I- yes.
Hoppy.
Totally get that.
How are things going for you down there?
Oh, great.
Everything's
Love it.
going well?
Yeah.
Having a good
So a lot of people brought up the beer to you.
Yeah. And a lot of people requesting, like, can I get some beer? Can you bring some down? I said, man.
Well, I got news on that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. The new batch is...
A Courchevel? They're doing another one?
Yeah, they doubled it. The new batch... new batch will be ready later this week. It is currently sold out at the Chestnut Brew Works tap room. The place that makes it is sold out. People keep calling and asking for it. That's from Bill over at Chestnut Brew Works. So, yeah, I got a ton.
There's a demand and I mean, I can take a keg down. Okay.
Well, yeah, we can. Yeah, we'll get into that. So, I was Krogering yesterday.
You were at the Kroger?
Yes, I was at Kroger.
The Kroger.
And
The Kroger.
produce section and had a nice conversation with a Three Guys listener by the name of Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
She came up to me and said, I'd always hoped to see one of you guys here. And I said to myself, well, I guarantee it was going to be me because those other 2 dudes, they don't venture in to Kroger. She is great. She's a P1 listener, just moved back to West Virginia, had been in Charlotte.
Oh, Hillbilly Highway coming the other way.
Yeah, reversed it. Maybe because of the new personal property tax that you're getting done there, Hoppy. Maybe that drew her back. But shout out, Ellen, thank you very much. Also met a father and a son at the game Saturday. Asked me to get my picture made with him and signed a basketball. And he said, we were listening to Three Guys driving up here, and my son asked me, why do they keep saying Oklahoma?
Fair question.
I thought it was a fair question. So,
While we're doing shout-outs, I'd like to say hi to and a shout-out to Kyle Gist. I think I'm saying that right. Gist.
Excuse me?
Kyle Gist.
Kyle Gist?
Yeah.
Okay.
From, as he introduced himself.
What?
Taylor County, Tyler Consolidated. He's from Tyler County.
That's how he said it?
That's how he said it.
Stupid.
Very well done.
Stupid.
Met him at the
Taylor.
women's game. Had a great
Yeah.
experience at the women's game.
I heard you were at the women's game.
Sure.
Doug, the security guard, told me you
Talked
were
to
at the
Doug.
security. Yeah.
Talked to Doug. Very accommodating there, Hoppy. We had the youth basketball team there, and they let the kids line up post game to give 5 to the team and Coach P as they come out.
That's
Doug
nice.
was right there. Wave, shook hands.
They got beat, didn't they?
No, they won.
Got beat?
Huh?
They won?
Yeah, lined up.
Lined
up,
Texas
beat 'em?
Tech.
Well, Texas Tech.
Texas Tech was 15 wins on the season.
Said hello to Doug and the director of athletics.
Did you meet Ren?
Said hello there.
First time you
he
met
was
him?
down there, sure.
Had he heard of
It
you?
was an awkward handshake. I mean,
What do you mean by that?
I'm like laying over the railing. He's trying to reach up.
Those are never good.
It was kind of
You
an
couldn't
awkward
get- you
handshake.
couldn't get
through, couldn't get up, just kind of had to go over. So I was saying hi to Ren as Doug was yelling from the back, "Hey!"
Yeah.
Great guy, Doug.
Oh, yeah. He got his hands full.
Ren was very nice, was very pleased with the win, the women's basketball team.
Women have now won 4 of 5.
Nice.
Lined up, beat Texas Tech, and it was the reunion weekend for their Letterman. Georgianne Wells was back.
Oh,
She
really?
was. Yeah, I saw her. I didn't see her. She was gone by the time I got there, but I saw her in the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome that she was there among all the other girls that were there.
Yep.
Yeah.
The alums also ran through the kid-made high five line.
That's awesome.
My daughter remarked Georgianne was awfully tall.
6'7".
Yeah.
And now in the barbecue business, I see.
Saw that.
That's awesome. Texter, signed by the Bearded Ear. I offer a limerick to sum up the week of WVU men's basketball. It goes as follows. Was the TCU win just a fluke? Huggins' comments did rebuke. Late game losses are hard to cope, even if Ken Palm still gives us hope. We're making that guy look like a kook. Signed by the Bearded Ear.
Ken Palm's still loving West Virginia.
Yeah, because he
does.
loves the league. 28th. West Virginia.
I know. 28th.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Texter, food critic, statistician, philosopher. Just a thought on your 800th episode. If you do not get near 800 episodes, why not just skip the 800th and go from 799 to 801 so that there still wouldn't be an 800th? I hope it gets there, but also understand you have lives such as dressing mannequins, fancy tomatoes, and Subway sandwiches.
Yeah, there's other things in life.
Texter. 3 guys. I'm a longtime listener, sometimes texter. Jay in RVAs, you mean Richmond, Virginia, checking in. Since my inbox was not filled with an episode today that was new, I decided to go back to episode number 1, August of 2017, when this magic carpet ride took off. I started listening during the Holge to Brown transition. Some observations from episode 1. There was no music, though I did note an intro song started off episode 2. First 5 minutes out of a total of 18 were spent on germs and Hoppy's insistence on wiping down microphones.
Mm-hmm.
Argument ensued with no clear winners. Did I mention
Well, hold on.
it was
I think it's clear where the winner was in hindsight of that.
Did I mention it was only 18 minutes? However, I feel like the word count was about the same as a 60-minute episode. I actually checked my phone to see if I was listening at 1.5 speed.
Yeah, noted.
No sponsors, phone calls, or text. But Hoppy's coffee clutch was referenced. Also, a lot of talk prior to the Virginia Tech opener how it was insane to play 2 Power 5 rivals in the same season. I've said that. Hey, listen, that's one thing I'll go to my grave. When they were scheduling those games, I said we should not be doing that. I knew it. Anyway,
we've only covered that now 400 and whatever today is.
432 episodes later, still saying shouldn't be playing 2 Power 5s.
Anyway, just wanting to share my findings. Thanks for the recent
WV
updates.
listening as well as the Big 12 is when we rant on something.
Thanks for the recent updates on P1 Jason in Dallas. He's been in my prayers. Lastly, I've heard a few texts coming in from Chesterfield, Virginia. Need you all to effort on getting some Kirchavail down in these parts.
Regional now.
Well, it's going to be hard to get it across state lines. I got to learn how that thing works.
Yeah, probably tough.
The texter says, just listen to Thursday's show. The text about who you guys would like to replace you at 3 guys was a great thought. Tell Hoppy if he retires, he's getting replaced by Thamel. You'll have him locked down indefinitely. He'll be drinking raw eggs and listening to the Rocky soundtrack every morning. Thanks for all you do, Big Timmy. Texter, no large business in their right mind broadcasts a reason. Oh, yeah, okay, so I'm going to read 2 of these here.
Okay.
Let me say this. Received, double-figure texts on Hoppy's comments from last week regarding Huggs' handling of the announcement of Larry Harrison's departure. And then I responded on last Thursday's show and gave you my take. So now I had, as I said, double digit of texts of people saying, hey, Hoppy, absolutely with you. Tony, understand the position you're in. So that's basically the theme, the gist. I'm not going to read 10 of those. I'll read 2 of those, and we move on. Is that good for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Tony Brett Hoppy, no large business in their right mind broadcasts a reason for terminating an employee. No matter the reason, it's between the employer and employee. Broadcasting it can be a reason for future lawsuits. If the reason was not team-related, Huggs should not be expected to give a reason. Criticism should be given to an executive within West Virginia Radio Corporation who hopefully doesn't give reasons on air for terminating employees. Irvin Morgantown. Texter. I like Tony's response to the texter. Scopes has to stay in his lane when it comes to university matters. Also, Brad and Tony aren't journalists in the sense of the word. I actually enjoyed the rant by Hoppy, and I thought the response by the 2 other was appropriate. It was on brand for the program. I didn't see it as cowardice. I thought it was actually poignant on Hoppy's part, but also comical as far as the response by Tony and Brad. They allowed Hoppy to be the old man yelling at the clouds. Laugh out loud. Like I said. Okay. Got it all. Thank you all very much. Both sides. Texter. Hey, guys. Justin from Princeton, New Jersey. I'd love to have some interstate shipping of Hoppy's fine ale. Any way you could have a truck heading to this Ivy League town. Maybe, a few bootleggers hanging around. Probably get those. Hey, guys. Texter, I was just listening to your TCU After Game Rap podcast and want to respond to the text by the critic. I thought your response to Hoppy's comments was deafening, and I couldn't take it in. Okay, fine. There was another one. That one got in there. Texter, get the beer anywhere in Princeton, West Virginia. They want you, Hoppy, they want you in Mercer County. Here's another one. We at Foster's Main Street Bar and Grill in Beckley would be honored to proudly serve 8 Hoppy's New Ale. Also, let the senator know. Also, let the senator know there's a fantastic mower shop here in Beckley, Adams Power Sports. That's an authorized Gravely dealer. Might be able to work out his NIL deal with them. P.S. I just recently acquired land in Pocahontas County. I'm yet to pay the taxes on it. Thank you, Matthew.
Hey, real quick on that. I got a text regarding that. We made a pitch for an NIL deal with me with a mower on the last episode. Got a text. Now, this is a buddy of mine, known him since college teammate. So I'll give him some latitude, knows me fairly well.
He listens in Iowa?
He listens to Iowa. In Iowa, yeah, every episode. Tommy, great listener.
Is he a Mountaineer fan?
I think he is now.
Okay.
I mean, he's always followed them. I've been here a long time, right?
Yeah.
He had some criticism of you.
Jump in.
Said you have totally misread that situation with me, and you shouldn't be efforting an NIL deal with a mowing company for me. He says the NIL deal should be with another landscaper / person to mow the yard, because if you get me an NIL deal with a nice mower, I still have to do the work. And he said he knows me well enough to know I would prefer somebody else be doing the work rather than me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thought that was actually a pretty good text.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we got to get a landscaper in here for you.
Or we need to effort and get my guy out of the portal. We can retain that at all. No.
He's staying in the area.
Yeah.
Why is he not doing lawns anymore?
Says changing careers.
What's that mean?
Well, he's going to go do something else.
So he doesn't have Saturday afternoon?
Well, he wouldn't always come on Saturday. Sometimes he'd do it during the week. I mean, do whatever he wants.
What exactly is wrong with it? I mean, did it just stop running?
I got it fixed.
Did you?
I got it fixed.
What'd you do?
I got a guy, John, came over to me.
Well, you don't have a guy. I already talked to John.
John going to take care of it?
Jason.
John.
Who's John? That was Jason.
John.
Our guys. I talked to him at the event. When you two had already left, I was still there. I already talked to him.
He came back up to me this weekend.
There's my mower.
Yeah, he came back up to me this weekend. He's going to take care of it.
Still looks like that.
Texter, gents, those canned beers.
Wait a minute. Do you think the longer the hood is up,
it's going to fix itself?
Reason the hood is up, means an ongoing project. That's what that means. We haven't closed out the project. It's still open. Efforting a due date.
How long has it been up?
Huh?
How long has it been up?
A couple years.
Wait, there's one other thing. I'll let you get back.
It's on the list.
When did it stop? I mean, did it just you were using it, and then you didn't use it for several years. Now it just won't start.
Yeah, so
it's
stopped.
never like it stopped
Unfortunately,
running.
I had like one mow left in the year a couple years ago, whenever it was. I just needed one more mow. It's getting close to football. I got a lot. Can I just get the mow in? And it just wouldn't start.
I mean, when you wouldn't start, like when you turn the key.
Correct.
And would it try to start?
I don't remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember what the issue was. I tried multiple fixes. I tapped out on my limited knowledge of what it could be. I didn't have time. The grass was still growing. Brought somebody in. Did a tremendous job. I think it was more my wife than me, which isn't a shock. Tremendous job going into the portal and finding some talent.
Yeah, found somebody.
Found somebody.
Now they're going out.
But as Neil has found out, retaining is a whole different deal.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
You said something really weird there. You wanted to get one more mow in, and football was about to start. You stopped mowing your lawn at the end of August. I mean, I've been out there like November.
No, but I can kind of, if it just slows down at that point, you can kind of just say, oh, it's okay. We'll deal with it in the spring.
Texter, hey, gentlemen, those canned beers from the brewery are called Crowlers. They've been around a while, but they rose to prominence during 2020 lockdowns, although that then led to many challenges for brewers due to aluminum shortages. I thought you'd like to know. Ted in Warrington, also known as the Trains guy, also known as the guy who tried to provide zero-turn advice, but you butchered it. Wow. Ted's getting anxious.
Oh.
By the way, our lawnmower guys, it was Jason and John. Been communicating with Jason there, but John's also well-versed.
Texter, longtime listener from Philadelphia. Enjoy the show, particularly the variety in the backgrounds of the Three Guys group. I think it would be beneficial to add a perspective from an ex-player or an ex-coach to the Three Guys group. It takes the show to four guys, but I think that may better balance the discussion and bring new and broader perspective to the group. Thank you. Nah. We're going to have a tough time getting the three together, let alone a fourth guy. Texter, Harrisonburg, Virginia, Dateline. Please get the beer to Pale Fire Brewing. If that doesn't work, go ahead, send a pallet to my house. Follow with the address if they don't follow through. See you at the fish fry. Texter, Kirchevale, needed at Glory Days Sports Grill, Midlothian, Virginia.
Big in Virginia.
Hello. Texter, sitting at the women's game against Tech. Check some scores of men's basketball. I see TCU's up 15 second half against KU. I think they took what y'all said the last episode personal. LOL. Also, I got a special guest that would like to talk to y'all, but he's only available by phone. If y'all could take a voicemail, let me know. Stephen in Morgantown. I don't know.
I mean, there's a phone thing on that graphic.
Just send me who it is. I mean, if you have a super special guest, just text it. Texter. There it is, boys. Picture, Taylor. My first Kirchevale. Jersey Jeff here. Look at that.
Good picture.
My
Well
lovely
done.
wife and I drove 5 hours in for our yearly hoops game. We had to have a Kirchevale. It's beer number 1, also known as the Tavon Austin.
Mm-hmm.
The first beer before a big game is always the Tavon Austin of beers. Now you see it, now you don't. Cheers to a university and a state that gave a Jersey kid a chance. Always thankful to the university and the state. Let's go Mountaineers.
That's a good, I tell you what.
Well done.
I like that Tavon Austin pot.
Yeah.
Number 1. Texter. Dane in Frostburg. Texas pregame text. I can officially say that Hoppy Kirchevale was tapped at 4:22 p.m. Saturday at Black Bear. I may or may not have been a large part of this. Can't confirm the noise. So he probably went there, and they said, you have Kirchevale. They said, no, and we might have it in the back. So he probably made a scene, screamed at him.
Right.
Had some kid kid at the back of the Black Bear run out there and tap the thing up and get it going.
Good job. Good customer service. Get it up. People want it.
Texter, warning, double yield emergency signs on the emojis. In-game text, less than 4 to play. I'm not sure if I've ever been so upset with a West Virginia team from how they play from one half to the next. They forget what works. Also, spreads. Is there any way they will ever hold referees responsible for the bad calls? This year, last year, has been some of the worst reffing I've seen. Besides the game itself, look at how much money they cost people that bet, but they're never held responsible. Big guy in Mullins hoping for an old-fashioned comeback. Let's go. Thanks, guys. I enjoy this show so much.
Do West Virginia have Tony, from 6 minutes left, 7 minutes, only one field goal. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went icy cold. Texter, this team plays hard with lots of effort, but they still can't beat quality teams. Do you deserve to be in the tournament when you lose to 99% of the teams that will be in the tournament on your schedule?
Ken Palm still has them at like 60, like right on the bubble, right, Brad? Like right barely in.
Yeah. Texter, I just canceled my subscription to ESPN Plus. I can't watch this mess going forward. I'm very disappointed. The talent's there, they do not perform, and I think it has a lot to do with coaching. So ESPN lost a subscriber. Texter, Matt, not Scott, in Scott Depot. I just finished watching the tough loss. Flipped the channel to the Eagles-Giants game to see a stoppage in play because, wait for it, the chain broke on the sideline. No kidding. I'm wondering how they will know if the repair makes an accurate measurement of yardage going forward.
Yes.
Then they try to bring the spare part out.
Yes.
But the intern that wrapped them up didn't get has them so tangled they're unable to use them.
Yes.
There it is. Picture there.
There it is.
Bring on the duct tape.
Did you see this?
Oh, yes, I saw it.
I've included pictures for your viewing pleasure. I enjoyed a good chuckle after another stressful basketball game. Anyway, I appreciate the entertaining content. Yes, I do own land in Fayette County.
Tape.
Perfect.
That was great. Great job to the folks on Twitter too, because I got probably 3 or 4 texts. I was watching as it happened, went to get my phone up to get some images, and already saw them coming in on Twitter alerting us to it. I'm glad they texted. I would have forgot to mention that. Go back to the other one, Taylor, the big glob of chain link. Definitely for billion-dollar industries, that is the best way to operate right there. It
absolutely is.
Right? There's no other technology that could serve this purpose, so keep using the same stuff you use in chain link fences.
I thought the same thing. I thought billion-dollar industry, playoff game, billion-dollar stadium, fans paying everything, and there's like 6 guys standing around going, chain link.
I got a knot right here. Can we get this knot out?
Here?
Probably haven't kept up with the times in that regard. Texter, sir.
Good job, Matt, by the way.
Yeah.
Sirs, I've watched the latest installation of a reality show about a basketball team that has talent, but through actions of its dysfunctional members continues to lose and frustrate itself and everyone around. If this were the Gong Show, they would have gotten the hook long ago. Speaking of the Gong Show, I've decided to change my name to The Unknown Texter, sort of like The Unknown Comic, but he was better with bad material, and wear a bag over my head when performing this feat or when the team shoots a free throw or passes the ball. By the way, you remember Don Nealon's last season? Some fans in the student section wore bags over their heads and had the infamous up the middle meter. The good old days. To close, allow me to indulge your thoughts on starting a GoFundMe account for a free throw shooting coach. Perhaps the coach at Texas would be available. Thanks. The Unknown Texter. Texter, Logan from beautiful Greenbrier County. It was indeed a depressing weekend for my teams. West Virginia loses to Texas. My Cowboys lose to San Fran. I've never seen Dallas make a Super Bowl, but I know that listening to you guys does make my day better. I appreciate you guys more than I'm able to explain. Keep up your work. Good guys.
Did you mean to go Morgan Freeman there?
I noticed it, and I just said might as well finish it. Texter, Charlie from Midlothian, also known as Buddy Holly. To Curtis from Portland, hello. I was not the one who sent spreads as new glasses, but I appreciate you thinking it might have been me. Thanks for the shout-out. Get a road win at Texas Tech this week. Let's go Mountaineers. So your glasses continue to be subject matter.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Texter. This one's for Tony. How much did you like saying Sir Jabari Rice while calling West Virginia against Texas? Great name. By the way, do you have a top 5 list of names that you've uttered during your career? I think the Mapp brothers were probably the best, and then the God brothers. Shamgod, the Wells, Shamgod Wells, and what was his brothers was what? There was Shamgod, and there was
Shamgod was here, played at Fairmount State.
Yeah, then there's another God.
Shamgod was the dad.
Shamgod Wells, but the other one would be the Maps, Scientific Map.
Yeah,
that was a name.
Did you ever get Boubacar Au with Georgetown?
I had him.
West Virginia in the league when
Loved
Boubacar
it.
was playing.
Yeah.
So he's one of my
They had
favorites.
some names.
Boubacar Au.
That's a good one.
Texter, this is continuing. P.S. J.D. Coalfields. I'm a new convert to listening to your radio broadcast while watching the game, muted. The key for me was to sync up the sound of the ball hitting the rim on the radio to see the ball hit the rim on the TV. Worked great, even though I enjoy listening to Fran Fraschilla. Nothing can beat the voice. Okay. Texter, thank you. In my opinion, what's lacking with the West Virginia program, basketball, is that we do not have what you guys call a dude. We don't have that guy that can put the team on his back and carry it when needed. Many of the teams in the Big 12 have that guy. Some teams have more than one. I'm not sure we've had a real dude since Deshaun Butler. Maybe Javon Carter would qualify. When's the last time you have seen a top-rated player, high school or transfer, list West Virginia in its top 2 or 3? Seldom. We had Oscar, he left. Hugs wants players that are tough and play hard, and these are good qualities to have, but at some point there has to be talent. Until we have players that are at least equal to the talent of the majority of the other Big 12s, we'll struggle. We have had some good players over the years, but few dudes. You guys have said it many times. You have to have pros, and that just hasn't happened enough. For whatever reason, recruiting is a problem.
It's always guys, and it's always guys that can produce. You know, here's something interesting. In the days now of transfer portal, how many guys will come in and be the dude on their team as a transfer? That's something to keep. I'm not making a projection on that, but take right now, take the all Big 12 team at Ken Palm right now as we sit today. His 5 are in rank order of who he feels are the best player. Jalen Wilson, 1, homegrown.
Homegrown, yeah.
2, Keontae George, Baylor, homegrown. 3, Marquise Noel, Kansas State, homegrown, and we're able to hold on to him. 4, Marcus Carr, Texas, incoming transfer. Grant Sherfield, Oklahoma, 5, transfer. Mm-hmm. So 40% were transfers, 60% homegrown. So fairly even split there.
Yeah. I was talking to folks Saturday. That Texas team probably has one NBA guy on it right now. Guy that knows, that works in the NBA. Told me Carr's not an NBA guy and Timmy Allen's not an NBA guy. Said the guy that has got the chance is Dylan Mitchell, their freshman. He was 4th-rated player in the country last year. Says he's got it. Texter, during the second half of the TCU game, West Virginia played a lot of 3-guard sets. Kedrian, Joe Toussaint, Eric Stevenson, like the old Villanova teams. West Virginia played in control, had good shots, low turnover rate, good defense. Against Texas, they went back to what they looked like, random subbing based on foul troubles. Signed by TK, originally from Wheeling. Texter, Kirchavale locations for the Kanawha Valley. Put it in the pitch, located at the Shawnee Sports Complex. Both places, there's also a pitch of KC located in Kanawha City. Both places home to West Virginia craft beers. Pretty sure they'd be interested in having Kirchavale. So that's going to happen. Bill over at Chestnut Brew Works is going to load up his distribution vehicle, and he's going to drive around the state, and he's going to drop off Kirchavale.
Like a little road show.
He's looking forward to it. He says he likes to meet people across the state.
Got multiple requests for the tap in St. Albans as well.
Yeah. You saw the tap that he made, right, Hoppy? The microphone?
No, not that tap. The place, the tap.
Oh,
in St. Albans.
The name of the place, yeah. But he made,
although the tap on the thing was very nice.
Bill made a special tap that's a microphone. So if you go over to the ale house, when they pull it, it's a microphone. You probably didn't see it because you showed up late that day and left early from the event that was honoring you. That correct, Brad?
I think that is correct.
Thank you.
I feel shame.
You came late, and then you left early. Now, the people were there to see you, but we were ready to do it. Then you showed up late.
Jan 23. Jan 23.
Okay.
His New Year's resolution of not shaming people did not last long.
I'm done doing that.
So you're done not shaming?
Yeah. Gonna let it blow
so you're
up.
back to shaming?
Yeah.
Well, shame's powerful and sometimes appropriate. Good shaming. I mean, you're a parent. Sometimes you got to shame them.
Yeah, but I don't care what he says about my coffee or anything like that. I'm not listening to that.
I'm talking about your girls. Like, now, aren't you ashamed of yourself?
Oh, I thought you meant when he does it. I'm not listening to that.
Oh. You know, this thing might pass Halleck.
Well, it's got a teeny little bit of a higher rating than Halleck does right now. I don't know if that's going to last. But
so you're saying it's a temporary? You're saying I'm on a heater, but it's going to fade?
According to Grace across the street, that's what she said.
What, heater, but it'll fade?
She said it'll cork up.
Yeah.
She really knows this world.
Yeah, she knows.
But you know what I know?
What?
I know the value and the strength of radio. And there's not been a craft beer in the history of the state of West Virginia that has had the word of mouth promotion.
That's true.
And so now we'll see when people get the opportunity to taste it, what they say. And then eventually, and everything keeps coming back positive, I think this thing has long-term staying power.
Really?
I think when we put it into cans, it'll really be accessible. I think it's ready to go.
So you think it's not just loading up on a week non-conference schedule here and it's going to get tougher?
No, I think we're ready for league play. I think this.
You know
I
what
think,
happens sometimes when
been
you've been
tested enough?
yeah, I
Been
think
tested enough here?
quite honestly, I think what happened was people, we said, hey, let's do a beer. Let's call it Hoppy Kirch Ale. And I think there might have been the thought, okay, we're going to put a beer together and just.
Like it's going to be
have-
silly.
It'll be like some silly ass
Yeah.
tasting beer. And instead, like when people drink it, they go like, holy heck.
Yeah.
Because it's a very, very unique design. Flavor profile. Very unique flavor profile that they did a fantastic job. So I think people are getting it and going like, doggone.
Well, I
Like,
think
this is truly good. It's not some like pea water, that you would drink like in college. Remember Narragansett, that beer from Rhode Island? You used to be able to get 24 of those for about $2. And it was just really bad. And this is really good beer. I think you said it perfectly when you drank your first one. You said, like, it's not heavy.
it's not light.
It's not light. This is a good beer. And it truly is.
Well, Bill put a lot of time and thought into
That was
it.
also Grace. Collaboration.
Okay,
She
collaboration, Grace.
She gave him what she was thinking.
Okay.
And they kind of married the thing together.
Because it's a Pilsner, but sometimes Pilsners are a little bit too much one way,
Yeah.
and it has hints of the fruit in there. I mean, they did a heck of a job. It's very.
It's a good beer.
Unfortunately, I'm still in this sober January, so I've been
Yeah. I know.
hurting me.
I know. By the way, one other thing.
Haven't had any Kirch Ale since that night.
Really?
Yeah,
Either have I.
yeah,
Not even in a growler?
no.
No.
Will
Either
you be
have I.
more likely to do it in a growler, or will you go to a local establishment and order one?
I would like any place, any time. But I mean, I'm in a
When you
January.
go up, like when you go up.
I mean, it's hard for me because they're right across the street.
What would he do? Like when he walked in there, would he say, he goes to the apothecary, they put down a little circular coaster, and he says, I'll have one of me. Is that what he says? Is that how he orders it?
No, he would not order it that way. He will order it by its given name.
Yeah, that'd be odd, wouldn't it? May I have a Kirch of Ale?
I might go in and say, "What are people saying about that Kirch of what is it?"
Oh, boy. I love it.
We got to get to February. We got to get past this sober January.
January's going fast. All right, here we go. 3 guys before the game, brought to us in part by Burdette Camping Center, the only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Whether you drive from Weirton to Welch, Martinsburg to Matewan, or all points in between, the warranty lasts forever. Visit them at BurdettCamping.com. By Gomart, go for good times, go for Gomart. Visit Gomart.com and sign up for your rewards card. That's Gomart.com/rewards. That allows you to save money on gas and your favorite snacks. And by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. Visit them at ComaxWV.com. All right, man. We're in. We're out. It's kind of like Wisconsin. Thanks for being with us. Back again later this week. For the Senator, for Hoppy, for Ellen at Kroger, and for Taylor County, Tyler Consolidated Kennedy. He brought a growler, by the way. He went home this week, and he brought a growler to his parents.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Very good. We're out. See y'all.